Hello, everybody. Welcome to another week with us on Live with Lloyd. I am your host, Lloyd Strayhorn, on Live with Lloyd. And last week I was kind of busy, distracted with some things that were very important to me. However, as you see today, I have a very distinguished guest on talking about a very distinguished subject today, celestially speaking, and it's Lion's Gate. I know there's a Lion Gate. There was a bridge that was constructed in Vancouver back in 1938, 37, 38. But these are talking about the stars, and I have no better person to explain it in its depth and whatnot other than my guest that you see on the screen. In the meantime, though, let me do this. Okay, let me do this. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you very much. I want to thank, before we start with my guest today, I do want to thank Dr. Yanabi Woodhouse that I asked, is it okay that if I could do a rerun of her show this past last Monday, a week ago today, to talk about the importance of money and how to think and get out of this poverty mindset that we've been programmed, which is what keeps us in check, which is why everybody can come in our community, make a ton of money, leave, and we starving in the midst of plenty. Then I wanted to thank my beautiful daughter that I also asked permission, who appeared, Kara Winters, that talked about nutrition, health, and things like that. Those are very important to me, the subject of health and the subject of being financially more independent and being wealthy. It's very interesting that TD Jakes gave an assessment of that the very wealthy men you don't know, very wealthy people, they walk around in sneakers and he says shopping in Targets, but we get some Gucci bags and whatnot. We get things for our kids, and they don't last that long. And it's just showing how the mindset has been programmed. So, other than that, though, I want to start with my very special guest, uh, and his name is Dominic. Dominic, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
You're looking great. You're looking great, buddy. You're
Thank
looking
you,
great.
thank you.
Listen, today is a special day. I called somebody in India this morning to wish him happy birthday. Um, and I talked to somebody when I was out of town last night about the fact that today, we were talking in conversation yesterday, is Lions Gate Portal. And obviously, it's an alignment that begins around January the 26th through August the 12th, where there's an alignment of the stars in connection with Sirius. So I ain't gonna mess it up, which is why you on, so you can explain it. And it's supposed to be a paradigm shift, the positivity, whatever the case is. And of course, you have shysters also that try to take advantage of this. First of all, what is Lion Gates Portal?
It's not really a portal per se. From
Mm-hmm.
just like you said, from July to August, there's a known meteor shower. It's visible. You can see it, a lot of activity celestially. But far as the alignment with Sirius, the place where it was at 3,500 years ago, 10,000 years ago, when the Egyptians were talking about these dates, these things aren't in the same timing.
Mm-hmm.
They're not in the same timing because humanity doesn't measure time the same way.
Okay, understood
You
on
know,
that one. Mm-hmm.
the months July and August, those aren't even 3,000 years old. They got added. July was added based on the vanity of Julius Caesar,
Mm-hmm.
and August was based on people's love for Augustus Caesar in eight BC. So what date is August 8th?
In ancient time, that's what you're saying.
No, in modern times, if they added 2 months to the calendar,
I got you. I got you.
a leap year every year, they switch from a Kemetic calendar, Egyptian calendar, to a Greek calendar, to a Roman calendar, to a Julian calendar. The Julian calendar was recalculated by the mathematician who happened to be the Pope, Gregory, and now we're operating under a Gregorian calendar.
That is very interesting. That is true. And there
They
are other calendars around the world too that people don't know. People just think about the calendar here in the West, but there are other
right,
calendars even more ancient than this one here.
exactly. So you have to, if you want to catch celestial energy like that, number one, it tell you in Egyptian Book of the Dead, there's no part of you that is not of the gods. Your body has limitations
Mm-hmm.
based on the physical structure that it's made of, but your soul, the thing that occupies you, is limitless. It's infinite. The smallness of your mind makes you think that you're something separate from everything. You don't need to wait to a celestial event or a full moon or a new moon or a lion's gate. If you want to tap into that energy, all you have to do is accept that there's no part of you that isn't of the gods. The gods consist of everything, including the nothingness that exists between the atoms, the particles in the atoms.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Things they said didn't exist. No, now they're saying, yeah, it's something there. We don't know what to call it. We can't identify it, but it's something there.
Yeah, where it used to be so-called nothingness,
Right,
there is
right.
more now somethingness, okay, so to speak. Why do you think that is? That people have such an unknowing or lack of knowledge about these celestial heavens and things of that nature? Is it because people just go about everyday life trying to just make ends meet, at least in this part of the world? See, I don't know about other parts of the world that you go to, or whatever the case is, but we seem to be so distracted with things of trying to make ends meet, pay bills, keep the car note going. Those are sometimes distractions, are they? You think?
They're excuses, not distractions,
Interesting.
because it only takes 5 minutes for you to tap into yourself. You got 5 minutes. You don't have to pick up your phone that first 5 minutes you wake up in the bed. You can sit down, tune into yourself, see what you dreamed about, see what your
Hmm.
energy is, write down what you dreamed about, sit
Hmm.
still for 5 minutes, and mentally picture how you want your day to go. Tap into the emotions you want to feel for the day and summon that reality to you. Now, I know most people don't understand that or know that manifestation is that simple.
I was gonna say, boy, you in my head. I'll say, Dominic, that sounds incredibly simple, and maybe that's part of it, that we think that everything is a lot of complicated mumbo jumbo, when some of the most powerful manifestations are very simplistic in its presentation when understood.
There's a lot of people out here practice magic that don't say they practice magic. They just manifest. They don't. You don't need no ritual. They're nice, but not necessary. It's
Hmm.
fun. It's fun to do it up and go through the candles and all that. So it's fun. It's exhilarating. But you're going through this ritual, which is like, following a recipe for a manifestation in order to put all the ingredients together in your mind to load
Hmm.
this into your subconscious.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you're doing these motions and that motion to because your body is a symbol. Your body's a symbol. That's why they say you were created in the image and likeness of God.
So that means all of us have a God within, if we really understand it. Is that what you're saying, Dominic?
Absolutely. Quite emphatically. That's exactly what I'm saying.
So that's like saying that people got us looking one way when we need to look really within.
Yeah, that's like, I don't understand why our people are still complaining. Our gods didn't turn their back on us. We got shook because they came, and Europeans came with a power we didn't understand, guns.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And rather than going to our gods and finding a solution for dealing with them, we folded up and betrayed our gods, turned our back on our gods, which means we turned our back on our own power because they have on the temple of the portals, the portal of the temple. Know thyself and you shall know all things, which means if you know who you are and what you are, you never have to come into the temple and make an offering to us because you know you are one of us.
Mm-hmm. 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 It's interesting, these ancient sayings that are really Egyptian in its origin that has a lot to do with all. And it's interesting. At one point in this country's history, in the early history, for a person black to read was the price was almost death, or death. Actually, it wasn't
Yeah.
almost, it was just to read a sentence. Now you got books galore, and the whole saying nowadays, if you want to hide something, put it in a book, which I think is like, that should tell people something.
Yeah, but people are hip to that saying, so now they use books to misdirect people. A lot of people think the more books you have, the better you're going to be on your spiritual path. That's not the case at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why Bruce Lee said, "Who's more dangerous? One who's done 1,000 kicks or done one kick 1,000 times?"
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
So if you're chasing all these different spiritual paths and all these different spirits and all this information here and here and here and here and here, just consuming, you're consuming, you're not doing.
But if you focus on that one energy, day in, day out, all day, 1,000 times, that's the one that he talked about. That's the one you got to watch out for.
Right. So if you want to get good at prosperity spells, you should be doing prosperity spells every day, not just for yourself, for random people, people on your Facebook list, people you see on Instagram. Start the more you do stuff for other people, the more universe gives you, because the universe knows you need abundance in order to keep giving.
That makes sense to me. That sounds incredibly simple too, and it makes sense.
I'm not saying, do for free, but I'm saying if you want to get good at doing prosperity spells, you need to be doing them all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I would imagine they're incredibly simple, because just before coming on, I was telling you about a young sister uh, in another part of the country. She went to this reader. They got a lot of them here in New York too. Well, they don't have a lot, but they have more than they need to. Where you just go in, they'll read your hands, and for $10, $15, and then all of a sudden they will, I guess, somewhere in the reading will point out what they think is the weakest link. Oh, something with their relationship, or something with their money, or something with their health. And if you bring back monies, this sister wound up going into a place like that, spending $15, and then the next thing, in order to straighten out her love life, she had to bring $2,400. And that should be a tip off to people right there, to go from one extreme to another, and then
Right.
still nothing worked. And still nothing worked. And then the lady still calling, asking her for money. And when she refuses, she's told that, well, you're gonna like
Get
um,
cursed.
yeah, get cursed, all that stuff. And I'm saying that, how do people go for that though? To me, it seems so obvious. Like, but maybe I'm out of New York, so in New York you hear about a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But people go for that every day, and people have been known to be ripped off for the tens of thousands of dollars trying to find a solution that only started when it's not that complicated. No.
It's not complicated at all. If you don't volunteer information to people, first things first, if you go get a reading for somebody and then automatically you got a curse or some big dilemma that only they can fix for you, that's a problem. That's a red
Yeah,
flag, people.
that's a red flag. No, that's a big red flag. I agree. I agree.
You know,
Definitely.
if you're looking at these people online, you know, and they got you mesmerized by this awe-inspiring event that's supposed to happen. Like somebody, a brother, unfortunately, made a video talking about Lionsgate and today that all racist people would spontaneously combust.
Yes, I heard about that.
You making outlandish, you have to pay attention when these people are making these outlandish claims that are supposed to lead up to their the revealing of their great power. Got to be careful, man. You got to be careful and trust your intuition and not get caught up hoping for a savior or a hero, because what you're looking for is in you.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, what you're looking for is all you got to do is point the finger in yourself, and that's it. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the comments because there's a boatload of them. I'm sure this. By the way, there are. I was looking in the moon book, right? There are no less, right at this point, no less than 5 planets that's out of sync. In other words, they're all retrograde, and it's interesting from Uranus to Pluto to Saturn to
Jupiter,
Jupiter. Yeah, yeah.
Neptune.
Yeah, all at the same time. So remember early in the year when I had you on, I was talking about there's going to be a hot summer. Not only is it blazingly hot by the temperature all over the
Yeah.
planet, it seems, but all these retrogrades at the same time, and this whole Lion Gate thing, this opening up, whatever the case is. As an astrologer, what does all that mean to you to have so many planets? Because these are generational planets, Uranus and Pluto and things like that, more versus the more short-term planets like the Moon and Mercury and Venus and whatnot. So does that mean longer range or generational things are going to be happening based upon all the retrograde effects of these planets?
The outer planets, they represent not only generational planets, but they're also key key and elemental in discerning what's about to happen with the masses.
Mm,
The inner planets are more personal. The outer
mm-hmm,
planets tell you about the collective, the nature of the collective. You know,
mm-hmm,
and like I said, before, Neptune, it rules the United States third house of communication and information, the mindset of the people. A lot of deception is being revealed. A lot of deception is being revealed. A lot of stuff coming out about actors and musicians and stuff like that. A lot of issues with the substance abuse coming to the forefront. They're reflecting. They're given the opportunity. A retrograde gives people the opportunity to go back and make sure, because a transit is like a software update,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and it affects everybody on the planet. So when it goes retrograde, after it moves into a sign and it goes retrograde, that's to go back and give the people the opportunity to make sure, just like a software update, they come back with a bug fix, check for bugs, and then they give you another update when it comes
mm-hmm,
back over to places where it was at. So, Pluto retrograde in the United States second house, Pluto in Capricorn retrograde in the United States second house of money and values. You see what's going on in the world right now. You see they're trying to fight with all their ability to resist the changing of the guard. It ain't enough white babies being born. That's what the abortion ban is about.
Yes, I know. I know. That's exactly right.
It ain't enough white babies being born. That's why they got the abortion ban. We've been in a recession since February. It really kicked in May when Pluto went retrograde. Kicked in hard in May. And that's because these people, and mark my words when I tell you, they're creating an economic crisis so they can hold on to power. This is going to cause a lot of people to lose their houses over 18 months. And you look at BlackRock and the Vanguard Group and Blackstone, these are corporations, business entities that these wealthy people like the Rockefellers and Rothschilds, they're using corporations now, so you'll never know who's running shit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The CEO of BlackRock when the government decided to give out the COVID relief money, the CEO of BlackRock told the United States government how they could spend that money.
Interesting.
They're causing an economic collapse. They're doing things to test the stability of cryptocurrency because we're moving into a crypto place. Believe me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Believe me, it's a matter of public health. It's a matter of public health because some devastation is coming from the monkeypox.
Mm-hmm.
And I warned people last year what was coming after COVID was going to be a big wipe down. And I described it in the astrology video that you would have.
I bear witness. In fact, you did it on your IGs
Senators,
too. Yeah, so it ain't like you're just making this up. You've been
you know,
saying some things. So
and they're gonna force people to go into foreclosures and stuff, buy up all the houses, and force people into these, commercial properties, rental property, complexes, apartment complexes.
mm-hmm.
Whoever controls
I
that.
it's a small space, at least here in New York.
Right. And the thing is, if you don't have no land, if you can't afford to own land, you don't have nothing to leverage. Because I control not only the cost of your rent, but how much you make. You'll never get above where I let you go. That's why I was warning people. Food sovereignty, community unity, start sticking together. I've been warning people. Grow your own food. If you're growing your own food, can't nobody overcharge you for food.
That does make sense. Or
If you
threaten
can't,
with the lack of food.
right, control you with the lack of food. And if you grow your own food, then you control the cost. You also had the ability to save money. If you had the ability to save money, you had the ability to purchase land. Now you have something to leverage.
Makes sense. Makes sense. It's a lot to think about. And actually, there's more deeper than what we are having in this conversation. People really, really know. And they were talking about the other day about the car bubble. That you can tell there are a lot of people walking around here with cars where they've actually stopped paying their notes. Piles of cars have been lining up. Banks in there looking at it are just releasing a couple of cars out to avoid. It's just crazy. And so they says once the cars are, then the homes are next, and then it's just going to be a ripple effect. So it's not so much about being in a panic or things that can't be controlled. It's to understand so you can have awareness of how to deal with a situation like this that's going on now. I think no.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no point in getting a reading if you're not going to use the information to prepare yourself for a better outcome or create the outcome that you want.
That makes sense. Can you rephrase that again, please, so people, in case they missed that?
There's no point in getting a reading if you're not going to use the information to make the outcome, more easier to deal with or to create the outcome that you desire. That's the whole point of knowing the future so you can change it. That's why they call a sorcerer. The word sorcerer comes from sorcieri, he who controls fate. If you can do a reading and tell the future, you can change the future and control fate. It's nothing spooky or mystical about it. But they've led you to believe that it means something spooky, something wicked.
Yes, because one of your descriptions is you are a sorcerer. And for people who are lacking in certain awareness, it's like looking at the 13th card in the tarot deck called the death card, and they looking at the picture symbol of a skeleton cutting off the heads of men and women, thinking the negative, but not really understanding the deeper symbolic meaning behind those symbols.
Right.
And that's the word sorcerer, like sorcery, like you were saying, you know? Well, listen, we got quite a few people this on. Let's turn on some of the comments and see what they got to say. Some interesting things. If you've got any questions or comments, somebody said exactly. Somebody said that's awesome. They've been preparing or prepared themselves for the past 10 years. On Elder told me this in the 80s. Yes. So there are a lot of people who know, especially those that have been around and understand, and it can kind of like forecast. Because I remember when I first came across you in 2018, 2019, you were talking about the bombing of the churches and whatnot, the religious, that's why I called you. I said, like, yo, man, you just said that. Then the next day, it was in here, then it was in this part of the world. So this is, people have to understand. So anyway, we're going to see what's happening. Adrian says, Dominic, I'm on his YouTube and IG page. Okay, yay for Adrian. Um, so people are saying also pulling out for schemes. I'm looking kind of like okay, from the Bronx. Hey Patricia, I'm looking at some of the things. Yeah, thanks for the glasses. Anyway, Jackie says here, she says the seeds of wisdom are being dropped now. Divine blessings to Lloyd and Brother Dominic from Temple Hill, Maryland. And listen, see, for people, it's interesting. I had a very distinguished brother, Sagittarius, like you, on about a week and a half ago, Hank Rosinson, that made this neck piece. And somebody says that we were stoned, trying to give the impression that these things are crazy because we were talking about the Likia layer stone. And if you did the research, from what you see, it's just amazing, some of the things. And so it's almost as if people want to try to, like, the knowledge that we're talking about, the knowledge to help people are trying to dismiss it or play it down. But this is very powerful information that you're sharing. And for people who are worried, be not. Um, be not afraid at all, but be aware. So at least this way, it can't be said we didn't have this conversation. That's all I'm saying.
You know, I got two books that I wrote: How to Make Your Manifestations 10 Times Stronger and Programming Yourself for Infinite Abundance. Both of them are free on my website. Go get them.
Hold
Learn.
up. Repeat what you just did. You wrote two books. I know I'm going to show some of the books that's available on Amazon that you did. A coloring book for children. And although it's for children, actually some of us adults act like children, and maybe we can get a page because, and a child shall lead them, as they used to say. All right. So what about these books on your website that they can get?
Programming Yourself for Infinite Abundance and How to Make Your Manifestations 10 Times Stronger. They're both for free right now.
Hold up.
Get
Did you
them.
say both for free?
Both for free. Both for
So in
free.
other words, they have no excuse
Right.
from what you're saying.
For
They
not
have no
learning
excuse.
and practicing.
Mhm.
It's about to get hectic. I ran myself raggedy during COVID helping people. You guys need to learn to tap into your power and do stuff for your community, do protection for your community, do abundance for your community. Go on my YouTube. It's free video, teach you how to make mojo bag, prosperity order, oil. Get on your job and get committed to living in your power and not being powerless, because it's about to get rough.
Well, I will say this. When the country was shut down in March of 2020, what you did, and all people got to do is go way back into your IG, where anybody, all first responders that needed some help or assistance metaphysically, you offered it absolutely for free. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
A whole year. If you were part of the health community, the first responders, to put your life on the line, you offered your services absolutely for free.
Even frontline workers like Amazon and post office and stuff like that. Everybody
Yeah,
do it.
absolutely for free.
I,
I
I
bear witness on that one. And they don't have to
yeah,
believe
you
me.
do it.
Just go back and look at your past IG and they can see that you made all of this available. So now you've got these items that can help abundance and things of that nature on your website. So we're going to give that in a moment. Let's see. Now people are more responding, and it's interesting. Very few people are giving their birthdays, but one is saying meditate. That's right. I got. Oh, and one lady says she's got your ebooks, and she said it took 30 minutes to read both. Okay, so I guess maybe you can see some of them, whatever the case is, and okay, let's see. Okay, we got one person here, a Mercedes, May 29th. She says, cool glasses, thanks so much. But anyway, what's up for Libyans? What's up for this birthday? In fact, what should people do? Should they ask a question or you just whatever come to mind? Because I know you can't do charts because you're in a whole nother situation. So you're not in an ideal place. But thanks so much, Mercedes.
Always got my tarot cards on deck. They can ask some questions.
All right, good, good, good.
A few decks on me.
Okay. No, you come prepared. You don't be joking. You don't be joking. So that's all I'm saying. Okay. But a lot of responses are like
Ready.
you're ready. So let me ask you this. In your experience, like myself, I know there are common questions that people 9 times out of 10 ask about. Other than themselves, right at that point, especially when they're in a bind, but about a relationship or about career or money. Have you found that to be the same with you in your experience?
Yeah, and that's why I made my readings cost more, so they would come with more meaningful questions.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
You
In other
want to
words,
read,
cut
you
the
want to make
nonsense.
it
Cut
count.
the nonsense.
Yeah, come to me when you really want to know some stuff. You know what direction you need to go to be most successful in your life. You know, not about your relationship with Bobby or if he's still looking after Tina. No, done with that.
You know what? I swear there was a sister that was in the tarot, and she said about maybe 2 o'clock in the morning, she got a call from a client that she read about a year and a half ago that wanted to know about some guy and whatever the case is in the middle of the night. I mean, so I understand where you're coming from. In other words, don't come and just be wasting time because really, based upon the way things are happening nowadays, no one has really time to waste.
Not at
So they
all.
really need to be on point, stay on point, and when they come to you, come correct. So I'm sure some people have said, "Man, are you looking at those prices? What it is?" But I was always told you get what you pay for, Dominic.
And it's never a issue of price. It's never an issue of people don't have enough money. Because when a crackhead wants crack, if he wants to smoke $3,000 that day, he goes and finds $3,000.
Being
The
in New York,
thing,
I'm a witness.
the thing is, people feel like the money is worth more than what they'll get out of the reading. People don't pay for what's worth the money. They pay for things that are worth more than money.
It seems like the priorities are all kind of discombobulated. You know what I'm saying?
But
That's
that's
why.
the world. That's the world we're meant to. They've created for us to live in a world of complacency. If I got distractions, I don't have to deal with my problems. Most people don't smoke weed because they want to get into a meditative state and
It's certainly
contact your
true.
higher self. They're not like, oh, cannabis is a water element. This plant's ruled by the water element. Let me use this to practice, smoke some weed, and then start practicing using my psychic ability because it makes me more receptive. They're like,
Hmm.
no, let me smoke this weed so I can be distracted from my reality and I don't have to live with the fact that I'm choosing to be powerless. It's a way of avoiding responsibility. And that's what our problem is. We don't want to take responsibility.
And there's this thing that this famous boxer Joe Louis said: you can run, but you can't hide. And you can run from everybody, but the final analysis, you cannot run from yourself.
Not at
You
all.
really, really can't.
Not at all. And that's why people are content with scrolling through their phone and looking at other people's success, feeding the success of other people with their energy.
instead of focusing on their own success. That's what you're saying, though, right?
I mean, if you know how much LeBron James and Beyonce and Little Baby are worth, but don't know how to get your worth over the bare minimum that you're surviving on, you got a problem. Your priorities are messed up, Jack. If you know about every celebrity's relationship, but you can't manage to keep a meaningful, healthy relationship that allows you to thrive and provide the motivation for somebody else to thrive and grow and to be the greatest version of yourself, but you know about all these celebrities' relationships, you got your priorities mixed up.
And
And a
we
lot of
got people that know these celebrities inside out, the latest date, the latest baby, the latest move, where they've gone. And yet, if you ask them about themselves, it's like, huh? I myself don't understand it. And it is a distraction. It really, really is. But let's get to one person and see what you do with the tarot cards, because we got a person here, Natalie Crawford. She's born October the 14th, and she says a general reading, please.
okay, I don't need nobody's birthday.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I'm gonna give you guys a quick little tarot lesson too.
Okay,
Quick
good.
lesson.
Good, good,
So
good. Let's switch over directly to you. All
I
righty, you
asked
got
the
it.
question. I asked the questions. I only shuffle one time. First thing I do is look at the bottom card. As you can see, the bottom card is the Hangman card. This
Uh-huh.
tells me that Natalie is going through some situations where she's doing a lot of self-sacrificing. A lot of self-sacrificing. And then these are the first three cards that came. We got the Three of Wands. This is a more beautiful, luxurious form of energy. And then it's followed by the Princess of Wands, as you can see from the card, because you just read the cards like it's a comic strip. You see
Hmm.
the lady with the wand representing the person. She's holding the wand, meaning she holds the energy, and she's pulling along a big tiger. This means, the strength of somebody is being taken away. And then the card that follows that is the Prince of Cups. This is represented by Scorpio. This is a very jealous and controlling man. Very jealous and controlling man that saps your energy away from you. Anything that isn't, given to you is taken away. We clear on that, Natalie?
All right. What about Jay Henderson? He gave a birthday, although you say you don't need any, but this would be a
Joy,
Leo Virgo person.
Joy Henderson.
Uh, yes,
They got a
Joy.
question.
No, they had no questions, just a birthday. But I'm going to look for questions as you do this person.
Bottom card, you got the Hermit card. As you can see from the card, it's a person with a lantern going through a dark area. If you look at the colors involved, that gives you the colors involved give you information and things like that. You know. Now this card on the bottom tells me, you're in a situation where somebody's leading you on. And when I say leading you on, that doesn't necessarily mean it's negative. It could be that you're following someone else's steps, and this could either be in a business partnership or a relationship, because you got the adjustment card. This card is adjustment is like justice, and it has Libra characteristics, which means partnerships and marriages and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And because you got the Six of Cups, which is a pleasure card, and that's a real good card. So it tells me about that it's more inclined to be a relationship. It's going to be very fruitful. You got the 10 of discs. 10 of discs is one of the best cards you can get for fruitfulness, money, abundance, and healthy lifestyle. So if you got, somebody courting you right now, and I'm pretty sure you do, they're not going to lead you astray.
Well,
Trust
that
your
sounds
intuition and
good.
be willing to grow.
Well, this person here, Lakeisha, says her birthday month is August 13th, which is coming up soon. And she says, what do you got for them? Now, you have an advantage of also seeing something. So if something stands out that brings your attention, do. But in the meantime, we'll deal with Lakeisha Moorhead because her birthday is right around the corner.
Okay. Somebody else want to know something about some prosperity and abundance.
And that card just came up too.
Yeah. This is what I'm gonna tell you. You got the princess of discs. Princess of discs. This is about, putting your energy forth to grow ideas, grow things like that, and make things come into fruition, planting seeds. This right here tells me you worry too much. This is the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords card is, you see bleeding swords. Swords represent the mind because swords are the element of air. The element of air has to do with
Yes.
mental capacity, thoughts, and things like that. Stop tormenting yourself with your thoughts, because in that process, this card is the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups represents happiness, wishes fulfilled. The the worry and self-doubt is killing your dreams. You plant seeds, you got to take care of them and nurture them as they grow. Nothing comes up overnight. Nurture them and keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Did you see one that's very that strikes your attention? Um,
I'm looking right now.
okay. One person said they've been preparing themselves. I think I may have read this. I'm not sure if so. It said they have been preparing or prepared themselves over the past 10 years. An elder told me this back in the 80s. There is another gentleman that's putting out a survival book that will be out in the fall, and I'm going to have him on my show talking about these. These are very serious times. And let me say this for people who don't understand, it's not a moment that everybody panic, because it's not designed to be of a panic nature. It's designed, and correct me if I'm wrong. This is designed to raise people's consciousness, their awareness of what's going on, so they're not asleep at the wheel. Would I be
Look,
correct, Dominic?
if you ain't exercising no divinity, don't expect no divine intervention.
So if they not, so if they don't exercise no divinity, don't expect no divine intervention. Intervention.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, okay. I thought you did.
Yeah.
I just wanted to repeat it to make sure there's some clarity in what's
Yeah.
happening, because there will be some people who are asleep. And the elders in the community, Harlem community, used to say, "Don't woke them, let them sleep."
Yeah.
And I'm saying, although that sounds like broken English to a person that's paying attention, I think everybody need to be on the ball. That's all I'm saying. And it's not to, oh shucks, grabbing this or try to hoard things, but be aware so then you're not caught off guard. That's all. You're not caught
Absolutely.
unprepared.
Take
It can't be.
responsibility.
Yeah, we didn't have this conversation. Okay.
Pluto is in Capricorn retrograde. You
And Pluto's about
Capricorn
transformation.
Capricorn is the sign of responsibility, responsible people, leaders, bosses, the top of the mountain. Capricorn. Are you gonna, as Pluto goes retrograde, Pluto is a planet that affects the masses and collective. You need to reevaluate your leadership. You
Does
need to
this? Go ahead.
go
I'm
ahead.
so sorry. No, does this explain why, in this case, both men and it seems especially women don't want to take responsibility for anything, but could do better blaming you as against looking at themselves, and not just the women. I'm talking about brothers too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is why certain things are happening. Health crises and stuff. You're not taking responsibility for your health. You want to go entertain yourself. You want to go distract yourself from the miserable situation that you know you're in. Even the people with money are in miserable situations. That's why they have to keep buying so they can keep spending to distract themselves. You're in a miserable situation and you don't want to take responsibility. These people with all this money, they feel the misery that comes from poverty and suffering, but they have the money to distract themselves rather than taking responsibility. But Pluto moving into Aquarius is gonna bring, some altruism. It's gonna force it. It's gonna force it.
Yeah, that's the humanitarian sign and the sign of the underdog too.
Absolutely.
Sign of the underdog.
Absolutely. People avoid taking responsibility is gonna make whether they choose to take responsibility is gonna determine how much we suffer over the next 2 years. I promise you that.
But seems like taking responsibility and owning up to stuff seems so simple to me, Dominic.
It
Oh,
is.
my bad. I blew it. I messed up. It sounds incredibly, incredibly simple. You're not hurt. There's you're not wounded or anything that just says, listen, I made a mistake. I dropped the ball. It don't sound like a big deal to me, Dominic.
But when you feel like you're powerless to do anything about it, you don't want to take responsibility because you don't want to be held accountable for failing.
Yeah, but who's perfect?
Black people, we blame white people for everything. Like we don't have the power to do shit.
Got you.
Take responsibility. You wait for the government to come clean up your community. If you don't want your daughter harassed, take responsibility. You don't want drug dealers in your neighborhood, take responsibility. Take responsibility. Whether you got to buy surveillance equipment or, put down some muscle with other people that's with putting down some muscle. Take responsibility. You don't want junkies throwing trash. If you don't want your community dirty and this dude wants to sell drugs, make him take responsibility. Pay these dope fiends to pick up this trash. You want to keep making money, you better make it look like ain't no drug activity going on here.
Got you. Got you.
Take responsibility. We don't want to take responsibility. We'll complain about the prices of food, but we won't buy up the vacant lots and grow food on the lots and sell food to each other.
That sounds incredibly simple. You know that, don't you?
It is simple. The hard part is getting people to take responsibility.
I don't mean to laugh, but that is the point. That goes right back to the point. Taking responsibility. Imagine a world that we live in that will change practically overnight if we all did.
Absolutely.
Imagine.
Absolutely. I understand guys been in the city getting money. They don't want to be farmers. You don't have to be a farmer. You can buy the land and lease it out to a farmer.
And then buy their food. Buy,
Put them in
buy.
your grocery stores in your community. Shipped there by black truck drivers. But we're stuck on the idea that we're powerless. But Pluto retrograde in
That's
Capricorn.
actually a state of mind.
Pluto retrograde in Capricorn gonna make you take responsibility, or it's
Whether
gonna crush
they
you.
like it or not. That's what you're saying. In other
Yeah.
words, whether they want to deal with it or not, based upon the transit of the planets that are happening in the heavens, they will have no choice.
Pluto's message is transform or be destroyed.
And we ain't trying to scare nobody, but we are trying to raise your consciousness.
Not at all.
We're
I
trying to
mean,
do.
if you don't take responsibility for your cleanliness and the cleanliness of the stuff you bring into your house, stop dealing with cash. Stop dapping people up. Stop going to the strip clubs. You are going to get the monkeypox. It causes inflammation of the brain.
Uh-huh.
Not only is it going to scar you horrifically, maybe sterilize you, it can put you in a state where you're a vegetable. Now, people are either going to start taking responsibility, or Pluto, the planet that rules viruses, and is going to, punish you. Take responsibility. Wear gloves, disinfect your stuff, put on a mask, stop socializing. Take time to get with yourself so you can become aware of your potential and stop allowing your reality to be engineered. Because these people understand.
I like how you put that. How allowing your this will all explain this metaverse and all the other things that are happening to actually alter the person's reality of what is happening in the moment.
They
No?
already do that. They know that the brain creates reality based on what you observe, what you experience, what you see other people experience, and what you input through observation, whether it's reading or scrolling down the timeline. We consume more data in one day than a person in the 15th century consumed in their entire life.
That's deep. When you think about that, that's absolutely deep.
They are bombarding you with information in spells and ads all day, engineering your reality.
That's
Fear
one of
on
the
this
reasons I
side,
stopped watching TV.
fear on this side, and idealizations on this side. They got the blinders on you. The only way you see success in the hood is the sports players and the dope men, or the guy who slaves at the factory from before light to no light. And who wants to do that? So you aspire to be the dope man. The dope man is glorified by the rapper. They're engineering your reality. They're limiting what information you can access because you can only engineer reality based on the information that you have access to.
And yet we'll be consumed by looking at the phone all day long or the TV screen all day long.
And not getting any meaningful information, just being bombarded by fear. They don't post once in every 100 stories, maybe, is something good on the news. Other than that, it's fear. China,
Well,
Russia,
the whole
COVID,
same,
monkeypox, poverty,
yeah,
inflation, housing
something.
crisis.
Hmm.
Always negative.
Hmm.
Always negative.
In the original old journalism, their rule was if it bleeds, it leads. That is what it is. There's something always negative, and I'm going to tell you this: I have not watched TV in maybe 5 or 6 months. What a difference it has made! What a difference!
Yep.
I can't explain it, and I'm not trying to tell people don't watch TV. That's a personal choice, but I've noticed that when the more I stopped looking at it, the more I started doing better in terms of my thought process, less distraction, and everything. By the way, I want to show this where Adrian evidently she said she downloaded those books and they are for free. So you ain't just talking again. So
No,
before we
sir.
show your banner, because I know you kind of away and we get near that hour, and I want to respect your time with your family. Um, Tell what they can get when they go to your website. In fact, we're going to show your banner. Hold on. So they have no excuse. Here it is. All righty.
Okay, you go to my website and get both ebooks for free. Programming Yourself for Infinite Abundance, and how to make your manifestations 10 times stronger. There are webinars and master classes for those. Fellas, August 14th, I have a Cultivating the Divine Masculine Masterclass, 4 hour long workshop. 4 hour long workshop. We're gonna go into your charts, go into planetary magic, using your sexual energy for creative purposes. Really get you live and get you lit so you can stop being a slave to your feelings and emotions and really tap into your power, because the community follows the king. You can't say you're king. You can't say you're a god if you're not, or divine, if you're not moving in divinity. You can't be a king if you're not leading your people,
That
not
makes sense.
leading your kingdom or your community. Don't talk that king mess. If you're not moving in divinity, don't talk like you're a god. So, fellas, tap in, Cultivating the Divine Masculine Masterclass. Follow me on Instagram. The link is in my bio. Let's get serious about it. Let's
All
get
right.
serious about it.
Good. And so there you see his website is redclawconjurer.com. His IG is Dominic369, and his YouTube is Dominic369 Presents Occultism Unleashed. And as you know, he has a wonderful family. He stepped out here on faith just like all of my other guests. And his cash app is $Red Claw Conjure 369. Okay, that's everybody knows I do. I get that's when I get on my soapbox, because most of us who do this. We have no pensions, no parachutes, no whatever they call these things, 401ks or anything like that. So please, he has a wonderful family that I've been blessed to meet on one occasion. So please support him. His cash app is Red Claw Conjure 369. Um, that's it. By the way, Hope, let me see something. I need to do something right quick here so I can get back and be with you on this. Um, Dominic, I tell you, we have a lot of people that wanted to. We couldn't answer all the comments. They were just an overwhelming amount. So some of you will see them. But what I would like, folks who are viewing this, to drop us your comments one way or the other. Agree, disagree, whatever the case is. This conversation is not about to bring fear. We don't operate like that. You can't think clear if you're in a state of fear, which is designed to do. It is about raising your awareness. Some call it your kundalini. It all depends on the conscious community or whatever you're in. The point is just be aware of what's going around. You know, Dominic, people be walking down the street looking at their phones, practically walking into each other, walking in the poles. There's some lady they videotaped that fell into a hole and wanted to sue the city, but she was looking at her phone. And so we seem to lose the things that are around us that can give us and aid us in things. So, and people think if they go out without a phone, they're in panic mode.
If you allow yourself to be distracted, you will allow yourself to fail. You better get serious about taking responsibility.
But
Get
what's
serious.
happening in the heavens, I would say so. With the alignments that are going on in the heavens. Now, there's some people that are probably saying, "Oh, yeah, you guys talking this," but they don't understand there are powers in the heaven that work more powerful than any man on this planet Earth.
Well, I don't really care about those people that say that. I don't do it for them. They're not the first people I do it for. They're not even important. They're the epitome of insignificance. If you don't believe, that's fine. The message isn't for you.
Yeah.
And I don't need you to believe. All you got to do is go back through my Instagram. Go back through
Well,
my
I say
Instagram and
I bear
find you.
witness. I bear witness. Some of the things you said years ago came to pass, which is how I got in touch with you in the first place.
You know, it's there's things that are gonna happen, and you can either be prepared for them. Just like I said, the purpose of getting a reading is to have insight into potential outcomes of the future. Once you have that information, you can get prepared to lessen the pain of the blow, or you can avoid it altogether. It's a choice. It depends on what's important to you. What's important to you.
But the bottom line of this evening show basically is learning how to take responsibility. I think that's sounds very simple.
For your
Sounds like
spiritual power,
very simple.
you know, it's okay to go when you come see people like Lloyd and myself. You should get inspired by our accuracy and our spiritual capabilities to solve your problems, that you want to learn how to tap into your power. I'm telling you, you have power. So don't come get a reading and say, oh, that was great. You should get a reading. And if it inspires you and you're like, wow, how'd they do this? You should take responsibility for figuring out how you can learn how to do readings, how to tap into your spiritual power.
By the way, let me do this too, because you have not only do you have those two free books on your website, but these are some of the books that are also available at Amazon. Tell us about this book. Now, this book came out in January of 2022 this year. All your books came out this year. It's interesting. You're a six, and this is the year of the six. Tell us about this, Dominic, your book.
Coloring to connect. You know, you guys think of it as it's just a coloring book, but colors are energy, they're frequencies. How do you build a relationship with the gods? Through energy and frequency. The Coloring to Connect books, they're about creating your own personal relationship and understanding of the energy of the gods, personalizing your connection and energetic connection. You're putting energy into these images,
Now,
emotional and color energy.
tell us about this one. This one I got from you, and it was fascinating. Now, this came out a month later in February of this year, 2022.
So, Beginner's Guide, the keys to transformation, Beginner's Guide to the ancient gods. This is giving you, insight and information to the gods of Egypt, so you understand what they have, rulership over, and how you can use them to tap into your higher self. And like I said, there's no part of you that is not of the gods. You're made in the image and likeness of the gods. By understanding the gods and their nature, it gives you the ability to find those energies and frequencies within yourself and really tap into them and cultivate them so you can become the greatest version of yourself, more aware of your personal divinity, the divinity that resides within you.
And finally, this is the book you just came out with just a couple of months ago.
And that's another Coloring to Connect book, and that one's for the Orishas. And
Really?
the Orishas are from, West Africa and traditional to the Yoruba people and Nago people. So if the Orisha, Ifa, and Santeria resonate with you, get the Coloring to Connect and build your own personal relationship with these deities.
That's good. Here's what I need to do. I need you to hold a second. I just need to make an announcement. One of the things I normally do is talk about the day's forecast. So I'm going to work a little backwards. I'll be right with you. Don't go nowhere, brother. Okay. Um, okay. For today, normally after I present who's going to be on my show, I always do the forecast. And this is Learn from Lloyd, where the joy of numerology is the joy of learning and enlightenment. Please like, share, and subscribe if you sincerely really believe information like this is helpful. Just subscribe, like, share, whatever. Anyway, this is Wednesday, August 8th, 2022. The moon is in, excuse me, the sun is in Leo. The moon is in Capricorn, which we were talking about. Pluto's in Capricorn right now, too. It's a 5 universal month, a 7 universal week, a 4 universal day. And those signs that are likely to be outstanding would be those under Leo, Aquarius, Gemini, Capricorn, Libra, and those that are born on the 4th, the 8th, the 13th, 17th, 22nd, 26th, or 31st of any month. And also, I want to let you know that on Wednesday, I'm going to have a very special guest. I call him KP. His name is Chiron Paris. He is a superb numerologist. He is going to be on with us. And by the way, he's a Leo 1. And so this a Leo period. I think it is very appropriate to have him on. He's going to be on this Wednesday. So please have your birthdays lined up because he's very good. He goes into depth. And for those of you who want to sign up for the free monthly newsletter, please feel free. Just go to Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. No, I don't sell your mailing list. I don't play that. Okay. I really try to respect people's wishes. So people have inquired. I will let you know if you missed it. No, I do not do that. You will not get no junk mail based through my listing. I'm not going to work like that. If I've got something going, yes. Other than that, no. So sign up for the free monthly newsletter that just came out to find out what's in your stars for the month of August at Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. And so for the newbies, that's spelled LLOYD Strayhorn, Strayhorn. And I think that is about it. And I need to, well, let me say this. Dominic, I want to thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. I hope this show didn't scare too many people because it wasn't designed to scare. It was designed to inform, designed to raise your awareness, designed to act with intelligence. Because as I say on my show, you either think for yourself or somebody will do your thinking for you. And that's
true.
That is not the best way to go in this world. So any last parting words, my friend, before you go?
If you don't do nothing else, get the free ebooks and practice. Practice. Get a friend. I know you got one friend that get down like this too, is interested in what you're interested in. Find a friend, work together, practice your spells, practice your manifestations, and keep going. You know, don't just start with one people. Find like-minded people you can practice manifestations with and start doing work to protect your community, bring abundance to your community. You know, protection, protect the kids at school, help them learn better. We got to stop thinking small when it comes to, you know, spells and manifestations and really think about how we can use our power to throttle our people, not into a position of catching up, but in a position way ahead in this race.
I say on that one, buddy. Listen, my man Dominic, thank you, man, and all the best to you and your family. And thank you for spending this valuable time because you're not where you are, but you're somewhere else. And anyway, this was great, and I think it was great to start this on Lions Gate Day because this is a whole big thing today. Lion Gate here on TV and whatnot. So I says, well, let me put this in perspective. And please, for those of you who don't seek people, you know, in your neighborhoods and they've got something to do, as Dominic says, that anytime they're going to play on your consciousness, your guilt or something like that, that's a red flag because you may spend a couple of dollars now, but if they have their way and they can get you believing this, which they are, some of these are very masterful at doing this too.
Right.
Don't you be saying, oh, no. You got some people that are very, very skillful at doing this. And the next thing you know, all your money will be out of your bank account and not a problem will be solved. Not one. Not one. So anyway, God bless you, Dominic.
Use your power and you don't got to worry about that.
Thank you. Simple.
Take responsibility.
Oh, there's that word again. Thank you so much, buddy. Have a blessed day to you and your family. Take good care and safe trip back home. All righty.
Absolutely.
And everybody,
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh man, this was good. I enjoyed this, but I'm getting to enjoy this even more so every day. But it's really, really about making you better at your life. Okay. And all I want to say is, everybody, thank you very much. Stay cool, considering this hot spell that seems to be going around the country. Stay safe, and I will see you on Wednesday with my very special guest I call affectionately KP, better known as Chiron Paris. He's one of the best.